آزادی بیان.
言论自由
Free speech.
Let's talk about a couple of other areas. One is national security. This is not so much a matter, as I understand it, of blocking content as of surveillance, of violations of privacy in the name of protecting national security. This is, I believe, quite extensive in Britain and the United States.
Yes, the UK and US are indeed world leaders in internet surveillance for all sorts of purposes. Of course, the governments of those countries would always talk about extreme threats to national security, whether that's from foreign powers or from terrorist groups. But in the UK, there is a series of legislation that requires internet service providers to keep data about their customers' internet activities, and that can be accessed not just by the intelligence agencies and the police forces, but actually a wide range of other government agencies for all sorts of purposes. And of course, the concern is it's much less obvious than blocking, but if people are always looking over their shoulder to say, well, I'm doing something perhaps politically unpopular online, what consequences might that lead to if I'm being watched by MI5 or the police?
Do you think, as it were, Big Brother is watching us? It's the feeling one might have. Do you think, can you point to a chilling effect?
It's difficult to say, here's a metric, here's how many books that weren't written, here's how many political campaigns that weren't started. I think one way you can see the damage, perhaps, that such extensive surveillance does is in talking to groups that are politically unpopular in the UK right now. For example, groups representing Muslims will tell you that actually it really can damage their relations, the community relations with the police that are really important. So when there is a genuine threat of terrorism, a genuine threat to national security, you want those communities to feel very confident they can talk to the intelligence agencies about them. And I think at the moment, internet surveillance is one of the factors that perhaps is making some of those communities feel unfairly targeted.
There is a report, is there not, by a commissioner, so-called, which gives some account of this surveillance. Are we talking thousands of people being watched? Tens of thousands?
Do you want to stick to the UK?
Yeah. Let's start with the UK, and then maybe do the US.
Yeah.
In Britain, are we talking thousands or tens of thousands?
Every year, the Interception of Communications Commissioner, who was appointed by the Prime Minister, submits a report to the Prime Minister, who then chooses which sections of it to lay before Parliament. So we do have some basic statistics on internet surveillance. We know that about 2,000 or 3,000 interception warrants a year are issued by the government, not by judges, which allows largely the police and intelligence agencies to listen into phone calls, to look at emails, to look at what people are saying to each other. The much greater quantity of surveillance that's happening is about who's talking to who, which kind of websites are they visiting, when are they connected to the internet. And we know there that I think in 2010, the last year for which data is available, there were over 500,000 accesses by largely the police, but other government agencies as well. So that does make you think, well, in a country of 60-something million people, what percentage of the population is actually actively under surveillance? Because one of the big differences, of course, that the internet and related technologies make to surveillance, it used to be the case that really it was if you were using people to gather your intelligence, really that limits, of course, how many people can be under surveillance at any one time. The internet makes surveillance much more scalable. So if you have the equipment and it's plugged into the right places in the internet, potentially that allows the government to keep much larger numbers of people under surveillance. And indeed, some other European Union country constitutional courts have said rules of the kind that we have in the UK that require internet service providers to keep records on all their customers' online activities breach the fundamental rights to privacy that are in many European constitutions. just because it's such a danger to liberty in countries to have such a significant group of people within the country under surveillance.